You're watching Today I Grew Up. Hey partners, it's Today I Grew Up. Really excited today because I'm joined by a very good friend of mine, somebody I didn't know, I knew existed, but didn't really know existed. And we'll get into that right now. But why don't you give us your name? And I know you as Dan, the Pixar fan. So why don't you tell us your name and a little bit about how you got involved into this space of Toy Story and Pixar, etc.
So we're getting right into it.
We're getting right into it.
So Dan Taylor from danthepixarfan.com, which is my blog, which is where it all started, at least here online. I mean, where it all started was Toy Story, my fandom, back in 1995. But if we're talking here in the online space, it started in 2013. And I literally just had the idea one day and thought, I have a pretty massive collection. At the time, it was almost 20 years worth of collectibles, and I thought it would be cool to archive it. And like, it didn't really start off as reviews of products. It started off more of just literally I'd be posting the item, a little bit about it, and it was mostly for me. It was kind of an archive of my collection, and I thought that maybe I could meet some fellow fans that were interested in what I was interested in, that maybe I could share some things that maybe others didn't know about. I could learn some things that maybe I didn't know about.
Do you have a chat room integrated into your site for your blog? Do you have like a chat room where people chat, or I'm just curious how they do that?
Yeah, no, literally just people have
reached out.
Me.
Okay.
Yeah. Found me through social media or comments on the blog or email.
Nice.
Whatever it is. So yeah, it started off, and this was June 2013, June 30th, and was just kind of a way to archive my collection, because there were so many things that I couldn't find online that I had, that I'm sure other people were searching for. So I wanted to make a lot of the Pixar collectibles out there accessible to see, and to learn about. And social media back then was not what it is now.
Totally different. It was a different world. Yeah,
it's totally different. That there was no, competition, you could say.
Right.
There was nobody in my space, really. There was no, that I knew of, no one out there archiving Pixar merchandise strictly.
Yeah, you're right.
Through creative photography, reviews, and things like that. I don't know of any others. Instagram was not what it is.
Right.
That's for sure. I mean, it had only been around for like a year at that point.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it came out in 2012, or it got popular in 2012.
Yeah, but not to cut you off, but I just have to comment on this. I remember being on the Pixar Planet forums.com, pixarplanet.com.
Classic. And all of us Pixar fans have been there at some point.
That's where I got all my Toy Story information from. So if I was building my collection, which I was at the time, I would go there and be like, what's the best toy, guys? What's the best movie accurate scale? What's the best, this and that. And so from the year 2010, I think, like before 2018, I didn't really like showcase what I do now on my channel, but I built the knowledge foundation. So once I got there, I was like, man, I'm making videos now that I wish I saw 10 years ago. So I appreciate what you're doing with the archiving, because without that information, you definitely know way more than maybe a casual toy reviewer would be like, hey, check out this toy. You're like, no, I know there's 4 variants of this, and they started producing them in this year by this factory, which is pretty
cool. Yeah, it's a long, I'm right there with you. It's a long time of being in this space, a long time, almost lifelong collector, ever since Toy Story came out when I was 5 years old.
Wow.
And that's when I started my collection with Toy Story toys, obviously, full scale.
Yeah.
And never stopped. Literally every Pixar film, thousands of items later, I have many items from all of Pixar's 24 I guess now films, maybe 25. I've lost track. But so I have almost a lifetime worth of knowledge from doing it myself and researching online, because there's obviously, I don't have everything. There's so much out there. And so, the forums back in the day were a good source. That was kind of like the precursor. I don't even, are people on forums anymore?
Not as much as they used to be. I mean, I would say the one thing that's close to it is the Toy Story Collection Facebook group that I get a lot of information from now. But it's mostly me for actually I've been dubbed the expert now, so I'm actually helping people answer questions there. But it's like a forum. It's like a forum in a way. It's like a Facebook wall, you know. But
yeah, so Facebook pages maybe have kind of replaced that. But yeah, at the time, forums and just online research and my own collecting and staying on top of it. And I've always been a completist, so knowing, keeping track of collections and what is all, because sometimes a certain assortment can expand to be very big, as you know.
Yeah, totally.
And sometimes it can be hard to keep track of. So a lot of it is keeping track of what's being released, making your own checklist sometimes, because sometimes checklists aren't out there.
Right. That's true.
And so, yeah, it's like, if you're a collector, you know, if you're like a hardcore collector, it's full time. Like, you had to be, you don't want to miss a beat. So you're always online, you're always on now social media, you're seeing what's out there. And it's a lot to keep track of. If you're a more casual collector, obviously, you know, you look at the back of the box and see maybe what else is part of that line. And anyway, so
that's great.
Pretty hardcore collector. And like I said, collect everything and anything and everything Pixar. Have done so for many, many years. The blog started in 2013. I expanded to social media and then started to focus in more on YouTube in the last couple of months. So I'm starting with obviously a lot of new products out there, reviewing those. But now I have my whole archive of merchandise that I've already blogged about and I've already featured on my Instagram, but now I can go back to those thousands of items. And even though I've already blogged about them, now I can transfer that to video and review them with video, which is a totally different animal.
Yeah. And
people enjoy that.
And that's exactly what I wanted to transition to. So I'm glad you brought it up already. Basically, you know, this world has changed to video platforms. A lot of collectors, they want to see things, you know, if they can't touch it tangibly in a store, the next best thing would be, of course, pictures. But what's even better than pictures and, you know, detailed description is video. People get to see, wow, there's an in-depth 3D element to this. I can see a little bit more what that could be like in my hands when he's holding it in his hands. So I think it kind of makes it a little bit more real. And you know this from watching video toy reviews. When you watch someone holding it and working with it, you realize, okay, I can imagine that here in my collection. I love this. This is really cool. And I think that's the experience the video platform has, especially YouTube, for the audience, is we're able to kind of bring things a little bit closer to real life, you know, in a different format. So it's great that you have that blog post, because basically you have a lesson plan or a syllabus in a way where you can kind of, you don't really have to think hard to come up with ideas. Like, you're just like, I have infinite ideas, right? I mean, that's what I'm assuming.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's cool because like I've had my YouTube channel for quite a bit. I mean, I started in 2014, but it was never the focus. Like, I have quite a bit of videos on there, but I would mainly use it for if an item had a particular feature I wanted to demonstrate that you couldn't capture in photo or with words. A lot of it is more of like the action-oriented type products that you would want, that make sound or have action features that you would want to see. But now I'm just doing it all. So even an action figure that doesn't have any action, that has posability, you know, now I will take that and transfer that to a video format review. And I'm still doing my blog and my Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and everything. I'm doing it all simultaneously now.
Wow, that's crazy. Much respect, because that's a lot of work. That's for sure.
Well, you know,
but you have a lot of the work done, though, I think, too, in a way, because of your blog. You know, you have
with the older stuff.
Yeah.
With the new stuff, it's hard to keep on top of it now, because now I'm also reviewing new things on YouTube that don't have blog posts yet. So I'm also doing those simultaneously too.
Well, I see.
But once some of the newer stuff maybe calms down, then I'll be able to just go back to my archives and focus more on the older stuff and do more like time capsule reviews.
Yeah, and that's great. And I'm really happy you reached out to me, because it's really funny, because when I saw your blog and I saw the stuff you were doing, I was like, I've seen your work. Like, it's so funny. It's like I know you in a way, because it's like I remember maybe 8, 9 years ago, finding your work online. So when I was researching things, I just took advantage of it because I was just like, oh, somebody did this, but I didn't like, I wasn't really like cognizant of who wrote that. Who actually, I was just like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
that's the toy I need to get. So I went to go get it, you know? So I'm really grateful for you, because without you, I think a lot of fans would be a little more lost with what do I collect? What is out there? What's the best, or what's better, kind of thing. So, because you look at
Yeah,
those
and
details too. Yeah.
that's really been the goal. Like I said, it started with the archiving. It started a thing more for me.
Yeah.
And then before not too long, first of all, I thought it was going to be maybe be like a couple months when I
Right.
started my blog. I didn't have goals to be doing this, what, 8 or 9 years later.
Right.
Literally, it was just like a small hobby I started. And what is cool is how it's expanded to being a source for people like
Well,
you.
yeah,
People
of
come to
course.
me all day long, literally messages all day long. Where do
Yes,
I
for
find
sure.
this? When is this coming out? Whatever the question is.
Yeah.
Now I'm a source. I've also, like you have, made a community where you've
Right.
developed lifelong friends. I have
Yeah.
so many friends I've developed through my blog and through social media and all that.
Yeah, that's
So it's now
amazing.
become much more than just archiving. It's become a community. It's been friends. It's been me being there for people.
Oh yeah.
And you can relate, and it's just
Oh yeah.
fantastic. I wouldn't change it
Yeah.
for anything.
And that's the thing I wanted to relate back to you, is when you reached out and you're like, dude, how are you doing this? You're on YouTube full time. What is this about? And I
Yeah.
remember telling you, I was like, I'm just like you. Like, I started this collection for myself. And then I realized the value in the community aspect of it, because we all
Hmm.
helped each other as collectors. And then moving that into the video platform, I didn't do a blog. I went to video right away. Building that slowly over time, I was just like, oh my gosh, like this is a community that I can do to help people. And in return, they're helping me. And then together we're kind of facilitating our dreams to come true, because people are buying their dream toys, I'm getting mine, and then we're just sharing it as a community together. What I buy now, I don't consider it just my collection. I consider it Today I Grew Up's partner community collection, because
To share.
because I'm all the
Yeah.
toys I buy, there's times where I sit here and I'm like, you know what, if it wasn't for my YouTube channel, I probably wouldn't have bought that toy. But I love the passion behind it, that I just like, let's just go for it. If the partners want to see it, I'm going to get it for them. That's just kind of the drive, because I want to share that excitement with them, because it's like, it's so great.
Same.
Toys with Toy Story, right? It's just like, it's infinite, like so many characters, and it's awesome. I love it,
Well, I'm going to echo like literally everything you just said, and
Yeah, go
just
ahead.
say that this is exactly why I reached out, because I found you as well, and I saw a couple of your reviews, and I realized, dude, like this guy is kind of me. Like
That's awesome.
we share so many views on collecting. We have a very
True.
similar passion and mindset and enthusiasm.
Yeah.
We're interested in, and I realized we were interested in so many of the same things. So I said, why not reach out? I've gained so many
Right.
friends through this platform. Let's make another one. So
Right.
yeah, I reached out and said, hey man, I've known your stuff for a little bit. Just wanted to
Yeah.
introduce myself. You know,
Collectors
what?
unite.
Yeah, I just want to introduce myself personally. Not
Yeah.
just through a blog or whatever. You finding my stuff, not really knowing who I am. Like, I'm a person. I think you're
Yeah.
cool. I think we could be buds. I think we
For
could chat
sure.
it up about Pixar stuff.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah,
we hit it off
that's
right away.
yeah, and that's a great segue for my next point. Is we're talking about community, we're talking about connecting with each other. When we first talked, I remember when we first talked, I'm like, man, we should have recorded this. This would have been a great podcast, but that's why we're doing it now. But
Absolutely.
basically,
It was
you
just like
told
this.
me, yeah, you told me an amazing story about how you made a connection with someone who works for Mattel, and you were able to pitch some ideas that were possibly, maybe we're going to come out for a Comic-Con or a con thing. I just want to kind of like, if you can share that story, whatever you can of that, because I feel like the listeners out there would really enjoy it, because I thought it was a really, really cool story. So I don't know if you want to go into that at all.
Oh, well, I can. Yeah, that was a little while back. So I'll just try to remember. Um, so I do have quite a bit of connections there at Mattel with the team, the Pixar team. Um, they've just found me through my content, through my Instagram and things like that, and different events that I've attended. I go to, I always try to attend Toy Fair in New York,
Yeah.
make connections there. I've done different influencer trips, and I've covered things as press, different events as press. I go to the TTPM showcase twice a year, or at least it was twice a year before COVID. But
Oh yeah, yeah, I remember
that's
that.
in New York as well. So I try to hit that up. So yeah, make these different connections, and people have just found me, and I have ended up gaining some pretty good friends at Disney Consumer Products and
Awesome.
Mattel itself. So people that are specifically on the Pixar team, the design team, the packaging team. And so I was at the time talking to who was at the time in charge of the Pixar division at Mattel. He's
Right.
since left. But he actually came to me. He said, make me a list of toys that you want to see as a fan.
Wow, that's so cool. I just think that's so
And
cool.
it was fantastic.
It's like a
And
dream.
yeah, because we hit it off and we're still
Mhm.
good friends, even though he's not there anymore. He still has a lot of insights because they work years out.
Right, right.
So I mean, he knows he left earlier this year, but or maybe it was last year, but he still knows what's going on this year and probably even next year. So he's
So
kind
he's
of a
like,
resource for me.
so he said, come up with a list of 10 toys or something like that, or
Just in general.
general. Okay.
Yeah, just toys that I would want to see as a Pixar fan. And I wrote up this whole list with screenshots from the films and all this stuff. What I expect the price points would be.
Oh,
This
that's
could be
cool.
I thought of some more unique ones that I say like this could be a limited edition 500 at say like a D23.
Yeah,
I had it all planned out.
that's so cool.
And obviously, I mean, he's not there anymore, but he really liked the ideas. A lot of them were before I realized that Mattel didn't want to venture into full scale Toy Story toys.
Right. Was there a reason for
have
that, by the way? Did you know why they didn't want to
just through
venture?
all their research and from their perspective,
Of what
they're
sold?
having they found success with this new 7-inch scale line. That's kind of their bread and butter right now as far as Pixar.
The sales were
And
just
they
probably
just
off the roof because they're cheaper, more
yeah,
accessible. You can
they're
pump
more
them out,
accessible.
more
They're
profitable, probably.
He also mentioned that all that stuff. He also mentioned that scale wise, parents and kids, they take up less space. They're
Yeah,
more, like you said, more affordable. You could just pick it up on the
they're
shelf for
cheaper.
$10 instead of spending
90 bucks
40
on a signature
40 bucks,
collection.
90 bucks, whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
So they've just found, so a lot of them, before I knew this, a lot of them were full scale toys. And he kind of got back to me saying, these are great ideas. We're not doing the full scale thing right now for the reasons
Yeah.
listed.
Okay.
But then I came back with him for 7-inch scale ideas for figures, and he would say, "Yep, making that. Oh, I'll consider that. Making
Really?
that. That's
Wow.
coming next year. That's coming in a multi-pack. That kind of thing." So then
Nice.
our conversation kind of shifted to toys that I knew that they would make,
Yeah.
and yeah, so
So you just
that was just really cool.
what you just said answered like 50 questions I get a day from partners out there. Basically, people are so confused as to why aren't Mattel making full scale toys, and I think the answer is what we just answered, that we represent a very niche part of the market. Like the toy market's already very niche, Toy Story collectors too. But now imagine there's another niche to that where it's like we want movie accurate props, we want movie accurate scale, we want movie accurate.
And we're similar in that sense.
Right? Yeah,
we
we're
like
similar in that
stuff.
sense. I think the demand is there if the companies wanted to take a gamble on it and maybe promote it in the media. I think it definitely still has revenue potential, but it'd have to be a whole thing. It'd have to be a campaign. There'd have to it's a risk. They'd have to put money behind that, right? Because anything is risk, obviously. But I think it's great though that you still tried. It sounded like you did your best to try to get that, and at least you got the answer, because that's a hard one to answer. It's like, well, why doesn't Mattel make this? Well, it's probably not in their best interest at the moment. Doesn't mean it can happen, right? But maybe
maybe one day. But I mean, now kind of looking back at their history with Pixar and Toy Story, they haven't really ever ventured into full scale. That was always primarily
that's true.
Thinkway toys. That was
smaller toys.
Disney, Disney parks, Disney store, and Thinkway here in the US, I'm talking, basically are the ones that have ventured into the full scale. And Mattel, I mean, not that I can think of off the top of my head, they didn't ever really do that.
Nothing full scale. Nothing full scale that Mattel has ever made where I'm like, yeah, that's full
Yeah,
scale. I
they
don't think so.
focused more on like the
Slinky
Toy
Dog?
Story action figures,
Did they
the
do a
Toy
Slinky
Story.
Dog? I don't know.
Um,
Thought they did a Slinky Dog,
no,
maybe.
I mean,
I don't remember anymore.
maybe. Yeah, I'd have to look back. I'd have
Maybe
to
a
look back at
Slinky
who
Dog.
actually made that. But either way, they did focus on. They've always, looking back, focused on the smaller scale figures. They had with the original film. They had the the 4-inch scale. Then Toy Story 2, they did the 4-inch scale.
That's right.
That was kind of the standard size for a long time for Toy Story figures. In the action figure scale was about 4 inches until they ventured into, they found that like perfect balance with the 7-inch line, and now they're just going crazy with it.
So that's perfect segue into what I want to talk about next. I got a comment about this today. They're like, Today I Grew Up, what is Mattel doing with the 7-inch scale line? How come we're not seeing them? Where are they? We have seen things pop up in the UK and Mexico, with Combat Carl, with Rocky, Stinky Pete, Stretch figure, and then we're waiting for a Chunk. I don't know what's going on with Chunk, but I don't know if you can comment on any of the new Mattel, what they're doing with that. I think the audience would really love to hear. They're anxious to hear those things.
Yeah. So obviously, I also talked to the person I was referring to before, who was the lead at Pixar, or the lead for Pixar at Mattel, has been replaced by someone else, and they introduced me. We got acquainted, and we're
that's great.
Friends. We're friends now as well. So don't worry, guys. I still have that Mattel connection.
That's amazing. Yeah, it's really cool. I didn't know that.
I was talking to her right before this conversation, just to get some more insights on with the Spotlight series, which we're going to talk about in a bit.
I'm so excited. Yeah, you can segue whenever you want. That's going to be great.
Yeah. So I mean, nothing groundbreaking, but I do have some details. But so I have talked to her about distribution.
Yeah.
And I tried to get some answers, because I, like all the fans out there who have been following this line, wonder why it's so limited, why it's being, we had to track down Combat Carl at a local toy store in Pennsylvania.
Right. And then they sold out. Right.
And he was at Nordstrom Rack. People found him there. Got a lot of reports from there. A lot of these end up at like Myers,
I think
grocery
Kohl's
store
too.
chains.
Like
grocery store
Kohl's.
chains I don't have around here.
Yeah.
Like Dollar Tree, or I mean, not Dollar Tree, like Five Below, like random spots.
Yeah.
And some, like you said, some are Mexico, some are the UK first, some are Canada first.
Yeah.
It's all over the place.
Right.
And I'm sorry to report that she didn't have a lot of info, and I don't have a lot of info. And the reason is because the creative team and the team behind the toys at Mattel, they have very little say with distribution. Like once it's in the can, like once it's done,
they check it off.
They kind of go on to the next project.
I see.
And a lot of the time, they don't have any control over it. It depends on who wants to distribute the toy. For example, Target has been more interested in distributing the Pixar line lately. That's why you see most things end up at Target.
You're right. Pixar is actually I see that a lot. They're doing great with the Sonic toys too. I've been collecting those, and they've been doing great with those, Jack specific. But so I only see Buzz and Woody though. I'm only seeing Buzz and Woody.
Exactly. And so Stretch has been out there a little bit.
Yeah.
Very few people have found her at Target, but she has been found there. Several others of the new ones have been found. Stinky Pete ended up at Walmart for some reason, and not at Target.
I did see that.
So there's literally no rhyme or reason. It seems like they have the best relationship with Target, and I'm friends with the lead packaging designer for Pixar Mattel as well. And he's fantastic. He does the designs that we all love, that we got.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So he is phenomenal. And he basically said that they have a great relationship with Target. They have been really into the story packs lately.
Nice.
So for like example, I'm going to be reviewing this on Friday. It's the new Monsters at Work story pack, featuring several characters. So
nice.
Story packs have been good for them and good for Target. Stinky Pete technically counts as a story pack, but that ended up at Walmart. So I don't know about that one again. So there really isn't a clear-cut answer with distribution, or why it's so limited, why these aren't showing up as much as they should be, why they're showing up at what I consider very random stores.
Yeah. Maybe we'll see
it's
them
kind of
6
out of
months
their
from now.
hands.
You know, maybe we'll see them
Yeah.
6 months from now when they're really late. Like,
Yeah,
who
sometimes they
knows?
show up late. That's another thing, is
Yeah.
sometimes they show up some places and they just hit really hard somewhere. A lot of them haven't even seen in-store releases. A lot of them have just stayed on Amazon.
Yeah, that's
as
true. I
well.
haven't seen Rocky. I have not found Rocky or Combat Carl in the wild yet, ever. I've never seen that one.
No, in fact, I don't even think Rocky has
Come to the US or
dropped here
Amazon?
in the US. I haven't seen any reports. Any Amazon I've seen has been
third party
sellers.
Yeah.
So a lot of those have been UK listings or third party sellers for like, $40, $60 or whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't even think he's actually technically dropped. Same with Evil Dr. Porkchop. I don't think he's technically dropped in the US yet.
Yeah, he's been at Smith's Toys in the UK, I think.
In UK. Yeah. So I'm sorry I don't have a super clear-cut answer,
no, it's
but
fine.
Hopefully that's an answer. At least that will help put things at ease to know that there isn't really an answer. The sense that like they don't. I mean, it's frustrating. It's definitely frustrating to know that they don't really know much on their end for distribution stuff. But yeah, I guess we're just gonna have to deal with how it's been going.
I think if Mattel's interested in small scale stuff, I would be like, if anybody from Mattel ever comes to you again and be like, hey, you have ideas for toys, please hit me up. I have like so many great ideas, but like this idea I was thinking is like, remember they released Small Fry Buzz at the comic?
Of course, it was got him right there.
Right. Yeah, he's great. Why don't they do like a pack, like you're saying, of like all the the Bonnie's kids toys for that set where he's supposed to come from? You know what I mean?
So
you think you mentioned that once, I think.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe we talked about that. So I just had a conversation. So another one of my connections. So actually it's cool. So when I post on my Instagram sometimes about things not getting good distribution,
right.
One of the heads, not at Mattel, but at Consumer Products, they say, hey, we have a meeting with Mattel tomorrow. I'm going to bring this up.
Nice.
So sometimes I don't want to call it complaining, but my bringing to the attention, sometimes that does climb up the ladder and
that's good
to meetings there.
That's amazing.
So they say, what, this hasn't been hitting lately? Nope. Well, I'm going to talk to someone about this. We'll figure it out.
That's great.
At least know that some people care and some people are bringing it to the attention of different teams. There's the thing with Mattel and with any company.
Yeah.
There's so many teams.
Right.
There's sometimes, like with any corporate, there's lack of communication.
Right.
Packaging design obviously isn't going to be talking to distribution.
Right.
Very much.
It's not their job.
Or suppliers or whatever. So there's a lot of communication. Sometimes there's lack of communication. And so that's one thing we have to keep in mind, is that we think, oh, Mattel, they just should know it all.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, even within Mattel, there's a Hot Wheels division, there's Pixar division, and there's so many separate units. They're all very separate.
There used to be like a Matty collector, which I used to follow all the time with Scott Knight. I remember that. Mm-hmm. That's how I got my hoverboard. That was the first thing I reviewed on this channel, was my hoverboard. Mm-hmm. But then I remember after that, there's like, now there's Mattel Creations, and then there's a Mattel Action that does like live actions on YouTube. I'm like, whoa, like I need to work for Mattel. I think because they do some cool things. It's awesome.
When I talk to my connections, I'm like, hey, is there any position for like idea guy?
You should definitely get in there first, for sure.
Because I'm not artistic. Like I couldn't design a toy necessarily. Right. I don't sketch. I don't really design things through Photoshop. I mean, I use Photoshop for editing, but
you're good visually. You're good visually with details.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Like I have ideas.
Yeah.
And I'm not artistic in that sense. For a design team per se, what qualifications they would need. But I'm a great idea guy. You want one of those?
Yeah. It's like
So, but they're like, no idea guy. Where I was going with this anyway was with the small fry thing. So one of the leads at Consumer Products reached out to me before the Kevin Spotlight series dropped.
Right.
And he couldn't tell me what it was, but he wanted to let me know that it was awesome, that it was big, that it was cool, that I was gonna love it. I'm like, dude, you're teasing me, man. What is this?
That's
And
awesome.
I said, while we're on the subject of like convention exclusive toys or
Yeah.
Comic Con exclusive or D23 exclusive, wherever, I'm like, I've had this idea for a while. And this was one of the ones I brought up to the original kind of the head of the Mattel team before he left, and I touched on this with him as well. But I brought it up to this other person at Consumer Products, which is it would probably be $150.
Yeah.
We're talking a limited edition, I would say maybe limited edition 500 pieces of small fry toys, like the actual Happy Meal style toys, which would be cheap to produce because they would produce them as Happy Meal style or Fun Meal style.
Exactly.
They would be relatively cheap to produce. I think there's like maybe over 20 of them in that short in the circle.
Yeah.
So there would be a lot, but it would be a big pack. They're relatively small. They would be relatively cheap to produce, but they could sell that thing for like $150, limited edition. Fans would go crazy.
And it would be crazy. Yeah.
Don't know if it's going to happen. No guarantee.
It'd be crazy. It's a great idea though. That's including like DJ Blue Jay. Remember? I was
exactly. All of those guys.
I was like, I love those guys. They're so cool.
Those are the exact ones I'm talking about. All in the circle there. Every single one that you see would be included in the pack.
That's so cool.
And they would be essentially Happy Meal style and the quality of Happy Meal toys. I don't know if they could swing doing the features on all of them, the action features or the gimmicks. That might be going too far, but at least little posable.
Yeah, as long as they move
of them.
At least they can move. Maybe one or two makes a sound, but if not, it's okay.
So so maybe, who knows, one day that could happen.
That's cool.
I don't know.
I mean,
I did pitch it.
No, I'm so glad that you're basically an inside man for the fans. Like you represent all of us basically, who are passionate about this.
For you guys. I know that you and so many people are like-minded like me, and if I know these people, I'm going to go to bat. I'm going to try to make some of these things happen, because not only do I want to see them, but sometimes these companies, I hate to say it, but they're a little bit out of touch for what the fans really want.
You're right.
And I try to be the voice of what the fans want. And so that's why I love to hear from you and the community and kind of see what people are interested in, and then try to do what I can to pitch it to these people who are and making these things.
No, yeah, and I 100% agree. The plan you have with Mattel, I kind of have with Thinkway Toys right now, where as soon as the pandemic's over, my plan is to go to the headquarters and I want to document my journey of trying to sit with a rep at least to talk about Woody. I'm not going to talk about all the other toys, but just Woody prototype. Let them at least see it, and then even if it is a no, at least they can see that, hey, it's not just me wondering, it's like me and like all these signatures that we've collected, which is going to be a lot. But it's just you never know what's possible. I always tell people, like, nothing's impossible. A lot of fans have taken it into their own hands and they make their own toys now, which is what I've done on this channel. I've created a collection of movie accurate toys with the help of my friends from all over the world who have helped 3D print things or help me mod things, or if I don't mod it myself, my friends help me mod it. And it's just crazy to see, like, anything is possible. Even if we can't have the company make it, we can make it ourselves too. But it would be better if the company could make it, because then more people could have it. Because that's the thing with my collection. I'm only one guy. I can't distribute this toy to like everybody else in every corner of the world, but Mattel has power to do that. They could distribute it a lot out there for people to buy, so.
And I'm really glad you touched on that, because that's something I wanted to mention as well. So good segue.
Yeah.
That's something that I mentioned in my original write-up about toys I would like to see, back when I was doing the write-up about full-scale toys.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So back in that original email, I mentioned that. I said, there are so many fans out there right now with 3D printing technology and all the technology there is for essentially homemade toys to make them look really good, that fans are literally clamoring for this stuff, for full-scale replicas. They've been clamoring for some of these items for over 25 years.
Yeah, over 25 years.
And they are taking matters into their own hands. And a lot of fans out there are willing to pay $300 to $500 for a
Yeah,
custom made Rocky,
you're
or
right. You're
I
right.
paid $170 for a custom made Wheezy, like you
Yeah,
did,
I did too. Yeah.
which is the like a perfect replica
Mattel could make that. Come on. Mattel could
done
totally
by
make
someone who wasn't even like an official toy maker. Like, how can
that.
these fans who have taken advantage of 3D printing technology now do a better job, essentially, and give fans what they want more than the toy companies?
It's crazy,
So
right? It's crazy.
so I mentioned that. I said there's a market. There is a huge market for,
Yeah.
especially these days. When I started, again, back in 2013, there were full scale collectors out there, basically in the Pixar Planet forums,
Yeah.
and they were out there. It was very kind of underground though.
Yeah.
People making custom replicas.
Yeah.
And adult Toy Story collectors was very. It wasn't a thing. Like, I had a
Yeah,
lot of
you're
people
right.
come to me with my Instagram saying that I inspired them as an adult to share their toys,
Yeah, same with
because
me.
that
Same.
that wasn't a thing,
Yeah, that's true.
really.
That's true.
And so back then it was very underground, but now, as
It's more
Instagram
mainstream.
yeah, now Instagram has taken off,
Yeah.
and social media and YouTube, it's very mainstream. They've like come out of the woodwork. There are
Yeah,
so many
it's true.
fans that are adults like me and you
Yeah, exactly.
who want full scale replicas of at least the main characters.
Yeah, the
I don't
main
need,
cast.
we're not asking for every replica in Sunnyside or
Yeah.
every replica ever seen in Toy Story, but
Right. There's too many,
there
but
are
yeah.
so many ones that are just main
Main character, more main
characters
characters. Yeah.
in Andy's room, even, that
Yeah.
we have never gotten, like Mr. Spell or
Yeah.
Rocky. And we're going to do a video soon talking about that.
The robot, the snake is those
Robot
are,
and Snake,
you
and
know, those would be great. You
yeah,
know.
and we're going to have a conversation about that soon and kind
Yeah.
of make a top 10 list.
Yeah, we can start that
Um,
whenever if you want to do
yeah,
that.
and
So
so
yeah.
I mentioned that in my email, saying that there is a market. There are so many collectors that are paying these obscene prices for custom made replicas, and that if these companies like Thinkway or Disney Store or whoever
Right.
would just do them, even if it's limited quantities,
Yeah.
there are
Limited
fans out
edition.
there, yeah, or limited edition. There are fans out there that want them, and not just want them, but they want them movie accurate. They don't
Yeah.
want a version of it.
They
They,
want, yeah.
they literally, like fans, like they're doing with like a lot of fans 3D print Mr. Potato Head, for
Right.
example. Like,
That's true.
why can't companies just make him look
Yeah,
like
like
he
the
does in the
movies.
movie?
Like an
Like,
adult collector's edition, right?
utilize magnetic technology and do
Yeah.
magnetic eyebrows if you can't make
Eyebrows.
them
Yeah.
small enough for the holes. Don't give them electronic features with long legs.
Yeah, exactly.
just just make them look like the
Separate the
movie.
shoes, separate the
If
eyes.
exactly, if fans can do it, like you do it all
Yeah.
the time,
Yeah, it's true.
and other fans out there all over the world, if they can do it, toy companies can too. And I
Right.
really hope that one day they will see that, and that if enough of us push it for long enough, maybe it will happen.
No, and I appreciate that. Did you send that email recently? You didn't get a response yet or anything, or is it?
Oh no, that one was back in like
Oh,
maybe
back in the day.
February,
Okay.
maybe like maybe like, in fact, no, you know what? Actually, that was last year. So that was
Oh,
like
okay.
last March. Time goes by so
So
fast. That was like a year ago.
so maybe as you know, as you start getting seasoned with like knowing these people at Mattel, maybe you can start being a consultant, maybe get in some meetings later or whatever. I think I don't know. If I were you, what I would do is I would try to find a way to like bring something like Matty Collector back to life, where you can be like, you know, this is a division that I can lead, that I'm passionate about, that we can make these toys in limited quantities for the hardcore fans, you know, like you were saying, do limited edition runs of awesome things that are really profitable for the company and are also going to people please the fans who, you know, like you said, making these
Yeah.
packs or sets or these one-off toys. You never know. Like maybe Mattel would, I mean, they've gambled on it before, but you never know. It could happen again. You know, it just
Yeah.
takes somebody like Scott Knightlick. And I remember hearing his podcast and he had said, Mattel didn't care. I advocated for that department and that's why it happened. When I left, it died. So he basically was saying, I'm the reason why that even happened to begin with. It took somebody passionate to push the door to make something like that possible, which I respect. I highly respect it. Even if people get hate, you know, he got some hate in some products or whatever, but like he did something though. He actually did something for the fans. And I appreciate that, you know.
Yeah, so we'll keep it going. I mean, it's been over 20 years since Toy Story 2, and
Yeah.
besides some European versions and besides some custom versions or some from Japan or overseas, we still don't have a US officially licensed Stinky Pete. I know you have one there.
Yeah, it's a custom by Cop,
but it's a custom mod and all that kind of stuff. And a lot of people have different mods and different.
And we paid $1,000 for that. I paid $1,000 for that.
Exactly. So after over 20 years, I'm not like holding my breath that we'll ever get it, but I'm not losing hope. I'm not losing hope yet.
Yeah. Don't
and every year.
It starts with building platforms, and like I've built a platform here on YouTube. I'm using this to help fans, and eventually my goal is to have some influence on some toy companies to say, look, I have fans that want this product. Let's make it happen somehow. So you're doing the same thing. And it's great that you're building up your YouTube channel, because it's really important to have that, because this is just the modern time. Is YouTube is a really good community-based platform that's in it for the long haul. You could be a TikTok star tomorrow, but you got to keep people's attention spans. YouTube is, at least it's like a community that lasts through the years, which is more solid. So that's why I appreciate YouTube more than other platforms.
Yeah. And you've been influenced by people. Yeah. They were influenced by someone who did something similar. You're influencing people that succeed and influence. And so I know that you've influenced many people to share their collection. I've influenced many people to get out there and share their collection. And it's just growing and growing. The community is growing every day.
Now I'm influencing people to make and mod their Woodies. So that's a big thing, right now. So people are building their own toys now because the companies aren't doing it. So it is what it is.
And another custom you have back there is Trixie. That's another main character
she's great.
that you would think she's starred in That Time Forgot.
Yeah.
She's starred in the shorts. She's Toy Story of Terror. She's been in Toy Story 3 and 4. Yeah. And she would be just as cheap to produce as Rex.
Yeah. Right.
Pretty cheap plastic looking toy, and yet still nothing.
And you don't even have to put electronics. You don't even have to do electronics. You don't.
Nothing.
That's the thing.
She would be a perfect. I would say Trixie would be a perfect Disney store release, similar to Zurg.
I agree.
I think that Trixie deserves to be made by consumer products for Disney store or Disney parks.
I 100% agree. If you can influence somebody somewhere for that, go for that.
Because I don't think Thinkway is gonna do that one at this point. And Mattel's obviously not doing full scale at this point. So right now, Disney Store consumer products division is still doing full scale with their Zurg and their mainstays, which are like Buzz, Woody, Jesse, Zurg. Those mainstays.
And they still make Rex too. They're still making Rex and stuff.
And when I worked at the Disney Store, I worked there for years, and and we had people come in, and you wouldn't believe how many times people came in looking for dinosaur toys. A lot of times they weren't even Disney fans or Pixar fans. They just wanted dinosaur.
Yeah.
Literally just dinosaur toys.
It makes sense.
And so they could totally, if they like, Rex was always selling out because it was one of the only dinosaur toys we had. Obviously.
You're right. He always sells out.
If they paired that with Trixie, do they know how many people? Like, this is the kind of knowledge I wish I could share with the people. Yeah.
Like a 2-pack. Imagine products. A Dino 2-pack.
People would love it.
Oh, it would sell out.
So this is the kind of stuff that I saw firsthand from working there of what people were interested in, even non-fans.
Right.
And we saw how people blew up about 7-inch scale Stinky Pete in that packaging.
You're right. That was a big
Imagine
thing.
if Disney consumer products through the Disney Store did something like that, but full scale with a movie accurate box. Like, fans would go ballistic.
They need to do a Stinky Pete. I hope Disney Store releases a full scale Stinky Pete. That'd be fun. Just
again,
really
I think
fun.
Disney Store would be the best market for it.
I agree,
because 100%. they have their Woody's Roundup right now already still, and it's one of their mainstays. Like I said, that's never going away.
Well, Buzz it's a top seller. Woody and Buzz always sell. No matter what.
That's a fun fact. Buzz to this day is still like the #1 seller.
Yeah, I definitely understand that for sure.
Another idea I had was, check this out, and I don't know why they don't utilize Toy Story Land as a place for exclusive merchandise.
That'd be
they
cool.
have
they have some things like the bucket of soldiers or something,
or like a lanyard with the Toy Story Land logo slapped on it,
or the Slinky Dog Dash
exactly
merch.
They have stuff with the logo slapped on it or whatever.
True.
But they have not utilized exclusive, like very cool exclusive merch there. Like, I picture, imagine this, a massive bin of Wheezy squeak toys.
I was gonna say that. I was like, that'd be so good.
10, like 12, $11.99, $14.99, whatever.
It's
that
crazy.
bin of squeaky Wheezy Squeak toys
would be
in Toy
empty.
Story Land, empty, and I don't like that.
Yeah, he's a staple at the
Every
end of
day.
the ride of the Slinky Dog Dash,
He's the
anyways.
staple at the end of the ride.
Yeah.
He's there. Put a bin in one of those little kiosks of Wheezy. He's a cheap toy to produce.
Right,
He's a rubber squeak toy, essentially a dog toy. We're talking.
Yeah, you're right. It's cheap.
That thing would make a killing.
Yeah,
in Toy Story Land. So they also aren't
Crazy.
utilizing the Disney Store, but also Toy Story Land to its full potential as far as merch.
Yeah.
I say.
If anybody out there is watching this right now and you work for Disney or Mattel, please connect with us. We have great ideas for you and the fans. So.
I feel like we really do. Sometimes the fans, and I have so many friends like over TJ and Julie over at Pixar Post, and so many fans. We have group chats going, and we're the same way. We have these conversations all the time, and we say, why don't they get it?
It's so simple. It's not so hard.
It's so simple. It's not hard at all.
They have the data.
So out of touch.
They have the digital Pixar data. They have reference models. They have some base to do it. It's not like we're asking them to create characters that have never been created. Like it's an easy thing to do. It's just plastic. You already pump it out. Just make the molds and make it happen.
They have the resources to make it, but they just don't seem to have the insight of what we want. That's the problem. There's a disconnect there.
Yeah, for sure. And
between us and the companies.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I don't think people realize the power of Toy Story then. I mean, they should, because Disney makes billions on the movies. So they should definitely like see the power potential of the consumer. And I think they do enough. That's why we are seeing some things from Mattel. It's not like we're seeing nothing. It was a nice surprise to see Stinky Pete, Rocky, Combat Carl. That was unexpected. I had never imagined those were going to come out ever. So I am grateful for that.
Even if it's lame distribution, we still got it. It's still out there.
I mean, if you're a hardcore fan like us, you already have it. So
exactly. And the fact that we're now 2 years after Toy Story 4 and the line is still going.
Yeah.
And with future releases that haven't even come out yet, it seems like it's moving forward. It doesn't seem like it's going anywhere. As far as at least the Pixar 7-inch scale line, the Alien Remix line is still going strong. Right. The Pixar Minis is still coming out with a new series with Luca and a few other characters. So basically, their mainstays the last couple of years since Toy Story 4 have been the Minis, the Alien Remix, the 7-inch scale, and those have been kind of the ongoing products for each of their new movies.
And I actually want to have you on the podcast before the Lightyear movie comes out, because I'm sure you're going to have some insider info for us for what Mattel's going to do. Because I'm hoping.
Yeah, I know they're hard at work at it right now.
I'm crossing my fingers that, with the Lightyear movie release, there's going to be at least a small line of merch associated for that. Do you have any? You probably couldn't share. I don't know what you can share, but like, what do you know about anything that you can share with the audience?
I can share that the Mattel team still has the license for Pixar through next year.
That's good.
Because as you know, a couple years ago, they got the license basically to all Pixar movies.
Right.
Before, each film was kind of being done by a different toy company. Like Finding Dory was done by Bandai, and Incredibles 2 was Jakks Pacific.
Yeah.
And Coco was Mattel. Each one it was jumping around a lot. And I think that they wanted to kind of mainstream the line.
Okay.
And make it more coherent. And so Mattel got the license to do all Pixar. Okay. And that's why we're seeing the 7-inch scale line and the minis and all those cover all of Pixar, because they got the exclusive rights to everything.
That's awesome. Really cool.
Instead of just jumping all around, it's really cool that it's a consistent line. And they can all be used together. Kids can make Pixar adventures using the same scale action figures, from Brave to The Incredibles to Coco to Toy Story, which is really cool. Awesome. So that was a great idea. And that partnership is continuing on next year with Lightyear.
Okay. Perfect.
And all I really know or can share right now is that they are hard at work and that it's going to be a fantastic line. I don't know how extensive it's going to be. Soul, Luca, and Onward were all very light. They were all pretty small.
Right.
I don't know if Lightyear's, if they're going to go big with it, or if, because it's not technically Toy Story related, if it's going to be smaller, or if it's going to spark Toy Story conversation. So they're going to want to make Toy Story related toys that aren't related to Lightyear, but just because there's new interest in Toy Story again.
Yeah.
Because even though Lightyear isn't technically a Toy Story film and it's not Toy Story related, that doesn't mean it won't spark interest, right?
Right, of course.
To go back and watch the Toy Story films. So
yeah, totally.
hopefully
We'll get
there'll
something. Okay.
there'll be some Toy Story toys next year too. I
Perfect.
really thought that for every time there's an anniversary, like
Mhm.
the 15th anniversary or the 20th anniversary of Toy
25th
Story 2,
anniversary, remember?
or the 25th anniversary, or
yeah.
anytime there's an anniversary. Like I remember in 2019 with the 20th anniversary of Toy Story 2, I'm like, oh, guys, this has got to be it. We got to get a Stinky Pete this year. If any year,
yeah.
it's going to be this year, the 20th anniversary. And every year there's a big anniversary, nothing really cool happens.
Yeah, they
So
dropped
they
the
also
ball.
should, they dropped the ball. So they should also take
Yeah.
advantage of the anniversary years too.
True. And I mean, the one thing that I loved out of 2019 was Bo Peep. Like a Thinkway signature collection Bo Peep was like amazing. Even though, yeah, it doesn't look exactly like Bo Peep from Toy Story 1, obviously design changes. I really appreciated that they released something that technically we should have seen in 1995. So
Yeah.
that was really cool to see. It was really
Yeah.
cool
Cause
to
I
see.
had the original Bo Peep with the sheep.
Yeah.
That was a little bit smaller
A little smaller
scale.
scale. Yeah.
Yeah, and she looked good at the time. I still have her on. I actually still have her on my Toy Story
Nice.
shelf because I like the classic design.
Yeah. I have
And
her too,
she,
but I can't open her. I'm like, see, it's too old. I can't open it
well,
now.
mine's from my childhood, so it's long
okay.
been open.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. I'm more of an Andy than a Sid, so I
yeah.
took very good care of my. To this day, I still take
I'm
very good
both.
care of my. Yeah, that's true. But I
I
take very
take
good care of my toys.
nice.
I still have most of my childhood toys from when I was a kid. But yeah, so I was impressed with that Bo Peep. But when I heard a signature collection Bo Peep was coming out before I saw the images,
Oh,
I
nice.
was really pumped because I was like, oh, signature Bo Peep, classic design with the lamp.
Right. I
They're gonna
know.
go all out with it.
Oh man, that was a disappointment.
And obviously it didn't. It was Toy
we
Story
got the
4
Target
design.
lamp. We got the Target lamp, which is
Yep.
okay. It's just smaller
It's
scale,
yeah.
but
Yeah,
it's
that actually kind of fits if for
yeah.
those who collect the 7-inch scale line, she kind of fits in with that.
That's true. That's
So
true.
you could kind of use that as a 7-inch scale figure if you're making, if you're a
Yeah.
kid or if you're someone on, a collector making displays, you could use that as part of a display.
Right. So
But yeah, I thought it was going to be the movie scale accurate lamp with the signature collection. So, but she's good overall though.
So if you're crazy enough, my friend from Brush It Off Props, you can find her on Instagram. You've probably seen her stuff. She actually made a movie accurate Bo Peep lamp to scale with the lights coming from the flowers on the base of the lamp.
Right on.
Everything that it's supposed to be. If you want to be shocked and odd, go to her Instagram, Brush It Off Props, one word. She's amazing. Her name's Rianne. She's helped me with a lot of things like my custom do kaboom hoop and things like that. So she's really, really cool. You got to check it out. It's mind blowing. It's like people can make accurate stuff. So if it doesn't exist, somebody's made it already. I think at this point,
I absolutely will check her out.
Yeah, Brush It
Yeah,
Off.
and
Props.
that's the thing. If she can make that lamp, the toy companies can make that lamp.
They could totally make it.
But then they give us
small scale,
like the Target lamp.
Like it's too small.
They give us that. Exactly.
All right, we can
cool. I'll check that out.
Yeah, go totally check it out. We can segue in now into the Spotlight series because I know that was a big thing for us to talk about. What can you share about the Spotlight series? I know I've already mentioned this with on my channel a little bit, but what is something that you have your thoughts on it? And I don't know, any insights would be great for Spotlight.
Yeah, you touched on a lot of it during your last conversation that you had. So in I was there at Toy Fair, which would have been 2020 before everything shut down, which is crazy to think about. It was February 2020.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even like a thought that things were going to shut down. But here we were in this huge convention center, 1 million people from all over the world at Toy Fair in New York City.
Crazy.
And so, yeah, it was the end of February, like 2 or 3 weeks before the shutdown, was at Toy Fair. Through my connections, Mattel is very elite to get into. The Mattel room.
I can imagine.
It's in there. It's in its own section. It's up elevators in the convention center, in the Javits Center. And you have to know somebody to get in. You have to schedule.
They don't let photographers in there either, huh? They don't let anything.
Oh, they do.
Oh, they do. Okay,
yeah,
well, that's good.
Yeah. I have a lot of pictures from my.
You have to have connections. Like you
blog.
have to know someone.
So you have to schedule it. You have to know. You have to have a contact. So I was really lucky to get into that. 2019, I actually didn't get it. Like I didn't know how elite it was. So I got there, and didn't have a schedule to
Okay.
go in, but I went up to him anyway. I explained who I was and what I
Yeah.
was trying to do, and they made an exception for me that first time.
That's amazing.
And
That's really cool.
then I got a card the next time, call this person next time.
Okay.
So then for 2020, I was able to go in more legit. I had it
Awesome.
all scheduled and everything. So yeah, that was just amazing to be
So
in the
cool.
Mattel booth. That's when they revealed the signature or the Spotlight series. This was February last year. The Spotlight series, the Toy Story minis, which a lot of them, or at least the Toy Story minis for last year, that a lot of them didn't get made. I did a video on that too,
Oh, cool.
about the ones that haven't gotten made.
Yeah.
They showed a lot from the Pixar 7-inch scale line, some plush, and the Alien Remix debuted there too. So it was just really cool. Obviously, the Spotlight series was a highlight, and on display there, they had Buzz and they had
Nice.
Mr. Incredible.
Awesome.
At the time, it was said that those were supposed to be a fall 2020 release.
Right.
And when it didn't happen, and then it didn't happen this year for a long time, all the way up until May, June, it was quiet.
Right.
So I did a video on is it canceled, because Mattel is known for canceling things. They reveal stuff, and then it gets canceled a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So I was
happens.
like, is this canceled, or is it delayed because of everything going on?
Yeah.
So what happened was, I guess it was just delayed, because so from February all the way until about May or June, it was dead quiet regarding the Spotlight series. And then suddenly, the Mattel shop started dropping images, as you've seen.
Yeah, that was great.
There was briefly links on Amazon, and they just started like showing up out of nowhere after like a year and several months of being quiet. They just started showing up.
That's awesome.
And what's funny is the ones showing up aren't even the ones that were originally displayed. So
that's crazy.
The first in the wave, or the first in the series. Well, we have Kevin, which ended up being a Comic-Con exclusive, that
was a surprise. To see that as the first was a surprise to me. It was a big surprise. I don't know, to me.
And to me, because even with my connections, they because of obviously contracts and stuff, they couldn't tell me. And so until about essentially the day of, I knew something awesome Pixar was coming, but I didn't know it was Spotlight series, and I didn't know it was Kevin.
Right.
So that ended up being the launch of the Pixar Spotlight series. So it's number 00.
Crazy.
So really before it's even number 1 or 2, it's starting with 00 because it's a convention exclusive.
That's
so
awesome.
I thought that was really cool. I'm like, bam, the Spotlight series coming. It's starting off with a bang, as a convention exclusive with a unique character. It's not canceled. Yay. It was just delayed. And then obviously we have those first 2 that are on the Mattel shop.
Yeah.
I have confirmed that those 2 are actually the first 2 coming after Kevin. So Wally and Woody, I don't know which one is 1 and which one is 2.
Yeah.
But Wally and Woody are the first in the line.
Nice.
I don't know about Buzz and Mr. Incredible, like where they're gonna fall.
Yeah.
They don't have any info for me on those yet.
Maybe it's a test. Maybe you think they're gonna see how they sell first. Do you think they do that? And then I hope
possibly. Hopefully. Unfortunately, Kevin, I think last time I checked, like a day or 2 ago, unfortunately Kevin's still there. Kevin was like the only one that wasn't sold out.
Okay.
Out of the convention exclusives, which is unfortunate. That's not boding well for the line.
Yeah. But to be fair, Woody and Wally are, I would argue, a lot more popular characters. Maybe
it was a risky
it was a risky
move. Absolutely. It was a riskier move to do a more unique character like that.
I mean, if I were them, I honestly would have started with Woody or Buzz as number 00. I don't know. That's just me. Like, because I'm a Toy Story fan.
I think what they did was, because it was a convention exclusive and because it was such a limited thing, they felt that they could take the risk.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because it was more limited. So they could go out, and do something a little bit more
a little more off the wall. Yeah, that's cool.
Exactly.
That's really cool.
And so then we have Wally coming. We have Woody coming, which you talked about, which is fantastic with the cloth and the amazing articulation and all that.
Yeah, it's cool.
So even though those Amazon listings dropped a couple months back, and I even pre-ordered my Woody from there, the pre-order was canceled.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And pushed back. And I did get insights on a new release date now,
Okay.
which there's no official date, but it is fall.
Okay. Fall.
So it's not dropping till the fall, starting with Woody and Wally.
Okay.
And I also found out that it's not going to be like an in-store release.
Okay. Okay.
It's going to be a more of a Mattel shop type of release.
I see what you're saying.
So they're going to keep it more of an online thing, which makes sense. I didn't think it would be a Target or a Walmart type of toy, because it's more collector geared.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so it is going to be an online mainstay at Mattel shop. And they're having a meeting about it tomorrow, actually. But what she knows as of right now, the pre-orders for them go up later this month.
So in the future, are they going to be like on the Mattel Creations site, or what's the actual website to pre-order those? Do you know?
I don't know if it's going to end up being like Kevin and be on the Mattel Creations site, or if it's going to be on the Mattel shop.
Yeah, that's what I'm curious about. Yeah, they're separate.
They're two different websites. So I wasn't that specific.
We'll find out.
she mentioned Mattel shop specifically, like she said that, but I don't know if she meant Mattel shop or if she meant,
do they do like
Mattel
brand
Creations.
Do they do like brand ambassador where you can like kind of be a rep or get sponsored, and maybe they could send you toys to review on your YouTube channel and stuff like that? I wonder if you can do something like that.
Because I am.
That'd be great.
Yeah, I am. So they sent me Kevin, which I reviewed on my channel.
Okay, awesome.
And so I have the first review of Kevin up there if you want to check that out. And,
everybody go check it out.
Yeah, so and she's not everyone else who ordered her, it was a pre-order, so she's not actually being shipped till the fall either.
Okay, perfect.
So they sent me that, and then the other two, they just got sampled in today, so those are going to be shipped out this week to me. So.
Oh, perfect. Well, congratulations on that, because that's a huge thing. I know that's something that's going to be very helpful for you as you continue to grow your channel, because that's part of this job is it can get expensive very fast, reinvesting into buying all these toys sometimes.
They've been awesome. Very, very kind over the last few years since
I've
had this relationship. Essentially, I mean, I've had a relationship for a long time now with them, but really since I'm in person, when I did an influencer event in Disney World in 2019 to promote Toy Story 4. That's when my relationship with consumer products and Mattel and all these companies really strengthened, because I got to meet in person.
Right.
And we got to talk, and
they
got to see my enthusiasm, and I got to make more connections. So
that makes sense.
Since 2019, the connections have gotten stronger, and they've been very generous, and they've been very kind to answer questions. I'll DM them on Instagram, whether it's about packaging or about a release schedule or whatever, and they get back to me, sometimes within minutes. So they've been very generous.
Cool. That's amazing. Yeah, I'm just so happy for you, because I feel like it's like you are us, but you've broke through that barrier, and we need someone to break that barrier to be the voice for us, like you're saying, like we're not doing this because it's our job, like people who are at Mattel. We're into this because this is our life. This is our life hobby. This is our life. Mm-hmm. This is our life. This is what we do. What I mean? It's kind of like we're collectors. This is just, we're born this way. So,
we were. I was born with the collector's mentality, and I think my son has it too.
Yeah, exactly. Your son could be the next, Dan the Pixar fan, and in whatever capacity that's going to be. So
he already loves collecting.
That's amazing.
He already loves making displays. He sets them up in a particular spot.
That's awesome.
Displays like, Aiden, such a good display, man, good display. And he loves making displays, so he gets the visual aspect.
That's great. That's what I do on YouTube. He's going to be a YouTuber then. That's awesome.
Yeah, maybe.
I do that too.
He loves coming in, and he knows I'm working on something fun. He'll visit me in here when I'm editing my videos, or downstairs when I'm recording, and he's so excited about it. So
that's
cool. I think I passed that on a little bit.
No, that's so great. I'm so happy for you, and that's great that you can share that with your own son. That's amazing, So yeah, I wish you the best of luck on this journey, because it's really fun, and I'm living my dream job right now, and I can't be happier. So I hope the best for you. And I'm hoping the same for you. I'm hoping the same for you, that with the hard work, I tell people, I'm like, yeah, I wasn't a YouTuber overnight. It took me about 8 years on this platform to figure it out. And then the last, 3 or 4 years, I really started boosting it. But, it takes time, but hard work does pay off. That's what I always tell people. I come from no money. I am not a rich kid. Never was.
Yep.
All my wealth that I have now is because I reinvested in myself. So, that's what I'm telling you. Anything's possible. It doesn't matter where you come from, what you have, education, money, that doesn't matter. Your passion, your drive, your hard work, that's what's going to pull you through. So
Yeah,
I'm
and
really
that's what
happy you're
I've been. Yeah, thank you so
yeah.
much, and that's what I've been trying to do, and for the last 8 years, it's literally, really, I mean, except
Yeah.
for some free products and some campaigns I've been involved with, I haven't really made any money. It's literally just been
Yeah.
passion driven.
Yeah.
Literally for 8 years, I do this every day, 8 to 12 hours a day, even with a full-time job.
Yeah, it's crazy. I used to do
Sometimes working,
that.
sometimes working through the night,
Yeah.
and I do it because of the passion.
Yeah.
And obviously with YouTube now, I do hope to turn it into revenue,
Yeah,
only
you can.
because I need to support my family and all
Of
that. But I
course, of
also,
course.
I'm never going to lose that passion for collecting,
Yeah.
that drive that I have. I've done it for so long without making money. That's still me. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
you're
still
right.
doing the same thing, and I'm still not making anything. So don't worry
No,
about that.
see, that's the
So
thing. The first, I'm telling you, for 6 or 7 years, I made $0 on YouTube, and I still made videos. So
exactly.
it's possible. I mean, I've always done this for free too, and so
Yeah.
that's why I do toy giveaways when I'm blessed extra. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give back to the fans. I will give away toys when I can afford it. Obviously too, because I have to make a living. But it's been great. And I'm really happy to connect with you, and it's been great for all my fans now to check your content. I encourage everybody to go check out Dan the Pixar Fan on YouTube, because you're doing amazing things on there. You just did the spotlight review. That's really cool. And I kind of want to get into now the last thing we want to talk about, which was the list. You said there's a top 10 list of toys
Oh
that
yeah.
should be made. Yeah, you came up with the idea, so I want you to explain it.
So are we gonna do the
yeah.
list here, or is that gonna be a separate video?
I mean, we could do that as a separate video. That's up to you. I'm open to whatever.
Because I mean, we could do a tentative list, and then kind of
revisit it later, maybe.
Yeah, we could
Yeah.
revisit it, or we can even do, if we want, we can do almost like a live thing and get feedback from the fans.
Yeah, you know what? We'll do that for another live video. You're right. That's a great idea. Because that could be another 45 minutes to an hour. So,
yeah, exactly. I think that would be,
that'd be fun.
Lend itself well to.
We'll do that for next time. Yeah.
To be live. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. We'll figure out a time, and I'll have you back on for maybe next month or so. Just let me know when you're free, and we can make it happen again. So
yeah, and I wanted to thank you because first of all, for having me on, because this is fantastic. We have a great time chatting.
Yeah.
You have a lot of knowledge, and we obviously have a lot in common that we can connect with. Even off the air, we've had a lot of great conversations.
Yeah.
And so I just wanted to thank you because, I'm already driven, I'm passionate, I'm enthusiastic for this brand, for Pixar merchandise, but you have also inspired me with your passion, enthusiasm, and support. I wanted to say that because you have always supported. When I told you that I was looking to get more into the YouTube scene as far as my content, you were very supportive right off the bat, saying that, oh dude, you'll be fine, you'll make it. Just work hard.
I believe in you.
Keep on going. You believed in me right off the bat. So I just want to thank you, for having me on, for believing in me, for your enthusiasm, for this connection, this friendship that we've made. I hope that we can continue it on and have more great conversations.
No, I mean, I want to say you're welcome, but also thank you, because I think we inspire each other, and things you're doing and you have done have been really pivotal in my collecting too along the way. Like going back on your blog post, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the guy I used to get information on. I know this guy, so it's cool to actually know you now. But no, my dream is in the future, hopefully after this pandemic thing starts getting better, I want to go with you to the toy fairs. I want, if you're like, hey man, let's go to New York Toy Fair, I'll go with you. We'll get our cameras, let's go to make videos, and that'd be great. Dude, I'd love to do that in the future. That'd be
qualify.
Amazing.
So you to qualify, you have to have a certain amount of following.
Okay.
They have a criteria.
Like view counts. I have the view counts for sure.
you match. You're fine. You're fine.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
All you have to do, you have to register, but you also have to be approved. So it's not guaranteed, but I guarantee you'd get invited.
yeah. I know. No, I appreciate you.
Yeah. So I got in essentially just with my Instagram. So
okay. Yeah.
So you're fine.
Year. Perfect.
So for press, you just have to apply and get approved, and you go, and that would be amazing to go with a fellow. Because when I go, I'm
man.
really by myself.
Yeah, I want to go with you. I want to make it like a
and
bro. We'll be like a bro hangout. You know, we'll go out, we'll
right,
go eat, we'll go meet people. Yeah,
exactly. Because I never
yeah.
get to really do that with another
Okay,
collector
yeah,
or another, someone who does what I do.
yeah,
I meet people there and I make
yeah.
connections, but it's not the same.
Oh yeah, for sure.
A lot of people I know there are like working the booths.
Yeah, well, we're
So
like
yeah, I
we're
would
like
love to
best
see you
friends
there.
now. So yeah, I think it'd be great in the future. And plus, I think our audiences are all gonna love that, because we both are in the same wheelhouse. You do more Pixar stuff. I do mostly Toy Story, but I'm open to everything because I love Pixar, period,
Yeah,
too. So I mean, I love the same
it's just
stuff.
I went for the first time to Toy Fair, I think in 2018 or 19.
Awesome.
And it was literally a dream come true. So
Awesome.
when I was a kid, even up until my adulthood, I mean, up
Yeah,
until a
yeah.
couple years,
Right.
I waited in anticipation for Toy Fair every year,
That's awesome.
and I would follow different accounts to see the coverage. I would try to see who's covering the Pixar, who's covering the Star Wars stuff. I would be refreshing my page.
Yeah.
I remember even as a 12-year-old back in 2002, when like Star Wars Episode 2. I'm a big Star Wars collector too.
Yeah. Oh, awesome.
Like when any of the prequel films were coming out, like being right there at Toy Fair, seeing the new stuff, being right
That's cool.
online, refreshing the page on rebelscum.com and all that
That's
kind of stuff.
awesome. Oh yeah, I know
And
those things. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yaxbase.com, all those things. And seeing these images from Toy Fair, and now being able to be that source,
Yeah.
being the page that people are refreshing to see new Pixar merch from,
Right.
posting it on Instagram and Twitter and my blog, and
Does it blow your
having
mind?
having others look forward to that, just like I look forward to being
Yeah,
there, and
right.
like I look forward to seeing that content. It was just surreal.
Yeah,
and
it is.
so I feel like you'll
Yeah.
have a similar experience, because I'm sure you followed Toy Fair for years.
Yeah, I mean,
And
all the toy. I'm telling you right now, all the toy YouTubers I looked up to, I've surpassed them in views and subscribers. So it always blew my mind, because it's like how can I be bigger than my influencers? Like that's a weird thing, And now that I've kind of risen above like these benchmarks, I'm like, okay, great power comes great responsibility, and I'm always thinking big, like how can I bring more to the community that I've built? How can we keep giving them more? And so this is perfect. This is why I'm glad we've connected, because we inspire each other, and you have a fandom, I do too, and like these chats, they really get people fired up, because I know I'm excited about the Spotlight series, and I'm excited about what Mattel is doing, or even what they're not doing. I find it all fascinating. It's business and how it works. So that's pretty cool. So I appreciate all your knowledge as well, and like this has just been a fun chat. And do you have anything else you want to share before we close, regarding all the stuff we just talked about? Because I know it was a lot.
No, I don't think so. I was just going to say, looking forward to, that next step for you could be flying across the country from California to New York City, and covering things firsthand.
Yeah, that's my goal. That's actually was on my goal to do. So.
Exactly. And so it's
on
just
my
cool
list.
that you're taking the next steps, and I'm trying to do the same, and I'm trying to stay consistent. I'm every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I have a new review for you guys. I'm working through the night a lot of time, and I'm trying to do this for you guys, and for me, and for the community. And if anybody has any questions about anything, like I said, I answer all the time. You can reach me through email or Instagram or Twitter, whatever. If you have a question, if I don't have the answer, I'll at least, I probably know someone who could get the answer.
Perfect.
So just let me know if you have any questions on releases or anything, and I'll do my best to get back to you ASAP.
So everything is Dan the Pixar fan everywhere you go?
That's my handle everywhere. Yeah.
Okay. So everybody who's watching this, I will put Dan's information in the description of this video, and also pinned in the comment section below, so you can't miss it. Go to his YouTube channel right now, subscribe to him, because I really think you guys are going to be blown away by his content. You have great camera, great lighting. It inspires me. I'm like, dude, this guy's professional. So
thanks,
definitely
it means
it's good work. Keep up the good work. And also I want to remind you that I was you last year, up until October, when I quit my job. I went to bed 2-3 in the morning doing toy reviews, because I believed in what I was doing so much that I did the same as you. I put that grind in for, I think, at least almost 2 years. I went to bed at 2-3 in the morning, and then I worked a full-time job, and then I came home and did YouTube over and over and over again. So Eventually it will pay off. It'll pay off. Just keep working hard. I have no doubts. Your content is amazing. When I go to your page, I just feel that sense of professionalism. And yeah, honestly, like I'm really happy for you and your success, and you have it already. And like, I just wish you the best of luck as you continue to build your platform. So
it means so much, man, coming from you. And you know, to anybody out there listening, I really hope that we can meet soon. I hope that you can leave a comment, you know, connect with me. You know, don't be shy. Just reach out. And
reach out.
Seriously, we can have some great conversations, and we're all friends here, so we're all fellow collectors.
Well, thank you, everybody. Partners. Oh yeah, we're all partners here on this platform. But yeah, I do. Wait, do you guys call? I'm sure at some point you'll come up with a term too. You'll have your own thing or something. But yeah, partners is definitely synonymous with TodayIGrewUP. But
yeah, that's your thing. So that's
thanks a lot, Dan. And we'll see you on the next podcast. And thank you for joining me today.
Take care, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Sad, strange little man. You are a sad, strange little man.
You are a child's plaything! Hey, Ham, look, I'm Picasso.
I don't get it.